Hello, I'm teacher Karina and I'm here to talk to you about writing literary reviews. Okay, you've got to write a literature review. You dust off a novel and a book of poetry, settle down in your chair and get ready to issue a thumbs up or thumbs down as you leaf through the pages. Literature review done, right? Wrong. The literature of a review refers to any collection of materials on a topic, not necessarily the great literary texts in the world. And a review does not necessarily mean that your reader wants you to give your personal opinion or whether or not you liked these sources. A literary review usually has an organizational pattern and combines both summary and synthesis. A summary is a recap of the important information of the source. But a synthesis is a reorganization or a reshuffling of that information. It might give a new interpretation of old material or combine new with old interpretations. And depending on the situation, the literary review may evaluate the sources and advise the reader on the most pertinent or relevant information. The main focus of an academic paper is to develop a new argument, and as such, it will contain a literary review as one of its parts. In a paper, you may use the literature as a foundation and as support for a new insight that you might contribute. The focus of a literary review, however, is to summarize and synthesize the arguments and ideas of others without adding new contributions. First, decide upon the theme or themes that you will explore, and then construct your thesis statement. Yes, literature reviews have thesis statements as well. However, your thesis statement will not necessarily argue for a position or an opinion. Rather, it will argue for a particular perspective on the material. You've got a focus and you've narrowed it down to a thesis statement. Now, what is the most effective way of presenting the information? What are the most important topics, subtopics, etc. that your review needs to include? And in what order should you present them? Just like most academic papers, literary reviews also must contain at least 3 basic elements. An introduction that gives a quick idea of the topic of the literary review, such as the central theme or an organizational pattern. It should also present the thesis statement clearly at the end of the paragraph. A body, usually with 2 paragraphs, that contains your discussion of sources and is organized either chronologically or thematically. Remember that your interpretation of the available sources must be backed up with evidence to show that what you're saying is valid. Also, select only the most important points in each source to highlight in the review. Remember to summarize and synthesize your sources within each paragraph as well as throughout the whole review. Also notice that while the literary review presents others' ideas, your voice, the writer's voice, should remain front and center. When paraphrasing a source that is not your own, be sure to represent the author's information or opinions accurately and in your own words. A conclusion that wraps up the text. Keep an eye on the structure of the paragraph throughout the whole text, okay? Have you got your draft in hand? Now, you're ready to revise. So, check over your review again to make sure it follows the assignment. Just as you would for most other academic forms of writing, rewrite or rework the language of your review so that you've presented your information in the most concise manner possible. Finally, double check for grammar and spelling mistakes. Thanks for watching. Bye.